always had a soft corner for strays, not because they're cute or grateful, but because I saw in their eyes something I saw in myself: loneliness, hunger, and the sheer will to survive in a world that offers no comfort by default. Over the years, many stray cats have come and gone in my life. Some stayed for days, others for months. A few never left. My house gradually transformed into a sanctuary of fur, fragile meows, and quiet purring at night. Some even moved into my room, slept at my feet, followed me into the kitchen, napped in my laundry basket. I never asked them to stay, they just did, and I never had the heart to say no. Then came Pluto. I first saw him lying across the front of my garage one early morning in October. A large, weary dog with eyes too knowing, too old. He didn't bark, didn't chase anyone. He just watched. I gave him a leftover piece of bread that day. He ate it like it was sacred. I kept a bowl of water nearby. He drank silently, and the next day he returned. Pluto never crossed into my house, but he lived at its edge, like a sentinel who didn't ask for a key, but still guarded the gate. He slept on the hot concrete by day, disappeared into the unknown by night, only to return again with the dawn. For 6 months we lived in this rhythm. Twice a day I fed him. Twice a day he wagged his tail gently and listened to my voice as though he understood every word. When he grew jealous of the cats muzzling at my feet, I'd scold him gently. Sometimes I had to hold a stick, not to hit, just to remind him. And he'd sulk, turn his head away in shame, but he never disobeyed, not for long. There were moments I saw him leap toward a kitten as if in play, or perhaps more. It was hard to tell. His eyes were too human, too unreadable. But he always stopped when I said his name, until he didn't. I wasn't there when it happened. One of the smaller kittens, a feisty orange one, with a tail like a question mark, had wandered past the gate. I found him later near the alley. His body was still warm, but broken. I don't want to describe it. Some things deserve silence. The neighbors said they heard barking, saw two dogs chasing a cat, and one looked like Pluto. That night, Pluto returned to his spot as usual. His tail wagged, slower than usual, but wagged. I looked at him, he looked at me, and something in me broke. I didn't scream, I didn't beat him, I just didn't feed him. And that was enough. Day by day, I kept my distance. He didn't bark, he didn't whine, but he never stopped returning. Morning, evening, he was always there, lying down, waiting. I hated myself. I hated the part of me that still wanted to call out his name, and the part of me that imagined him as the killer. I was torn between grief and guilt and love and loyalty. Eventually, I stopped seeing him, and for a while things returned to normal. The other cats grew bolder again, the house filled with purrs and quiet footsteps. But then, strange things began to happen. One night, I heard a soft scratch at the front gate. It was past midnight. I looked through the curtain. No one. Just the sound again. Scratch, scratch. I opened the door. No one. But the water bowl I had kept outside for Pluto months ago, it was filled again, brimming. I hadn't touched it. The next day, I found paw prints, muddy, large, leading to the gate. They ended there. No return trail. I told myself, maybe it's just another dog. Maybe one of the local strays. Maybe a new one had taken over this spot. I tried to believe that. Then, one evening, I heard barking. Not loud, just a single low bark. It was Pluto's bark. I knew it instantly, and I froze. I hadn't heard it in weeks. I stepped out, my heart stopped. There he was, Pluto, lying by the garage again. But something was wrong. He looked not quite real, like he was glowing, faintly, dimly, like he was a part of the air, not the ground. I called out, Pluto! He didn't move. Then he did something I'll never forget. He turned his head slowly toward me, eyes locked, and smiled. That same faint, lopsided dog smile I knew so well, and vanished. No blink, no fade, just gone. The next morning I found the old stick I used to carry when I fed him. It was standing upright, balanced perfectly against the gate, like someone had placed it there deliberately. I don't know what that meant. Maybe he forget me, maybe he wanted me to forgive him, or maybe, just maybe, it was never Pluto who hurt the kitten. Maybe he had just chased the real attacker away and died doing it. I asked around. One neighbor said they'd seen Pluto run into the street during the fight that day, bleeding from his hind leg. But they hadn't seen him after that. Not truly, just a shadow, a tail turning a corner, a bark in the distance. It was never confirmed, but deep down, I knew Pluto had died that day. Not vanished, not wandered, died. And the dog who returned day after day was something else. A ghost, not the kind who haunts with rage, the kind who waits with love. I still don't feed any dogs near my home. I can't risk it. But once in a while, when I leave water outside on a scorching day, the bowl empties by dusk. No dogs in sight, no paw prints, no wind, just the faint scent of fur and the memory of eyes that waited, without blame, without anger, just love, love that stayed.